that kind of a persuasion that he had, dwelling in the heart of a human being, produces love. Because he said, not by my strength will I be exalted to the right hand of God. Do you know what it caused to happen? He rested on the cross. Mm-hmm. Now, what was him resting on the cross the manifestation of? God says he commended his love towards man, that while they were yet dead in their sin, he gave up his life for them. So, Jesus had a way. His way was, I can't be exalted by my ability to clothe myself with good fruit. I can't be exalted by my ability to prove I'm the Son. I can only be exalted by God. Because he had that persuasion in his heart, he didn't come down off the cross, but he rested on the cross. His death on the cross was the manifestation of God loving us with all of his heart, with all of his soul, and with all of his strength. And that love came forth because of his way.
Yes.
You see?
Yeah.
And so now, all of us, we can be led into that place. Jesus consecrated a place by appearing with the blood. And if we're followers of Jesus, we come into the holiest place through that same persuasion. Mm-hmm. Not by my ability to produce fruit, not by my good deeds, not by what I will do, but by you, O God, is the only way I will be exalted to the right hand. Mm-hmm. That's how he leads us. That's how we're followers. So the place he wants to lead every one of you guys is the same intimacy that he has with the Father. Mm-hmm. The intimacy he has with the Father is based on a persuasion dwelling in his heart. Yeah. So how can he lead us into the same intimacy, but to reveal that same persuasion to us in his birth, in his death, in his burial, in his resurrection, and in his ascension? Yes. And so the thing he believed in his heart was made flesh in those events. Mm-hmm. So that in his belief being made flesh, it could teach our hearts of the same thing his heart was taught of. And then, in teaching our hearts of the same thing his heart was taught of his way, that truth will bring us into the holiest place. It will cause us to be filled with confidence and boldness face to face with God. And then we'll be like the Word that was from the beginning, that was face to face with God. Now we'll be the same kind of a thing, where we're face to face with God now by that. Mm-hmm. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
That's how we define following Jesus. Where was he going? How did he get there? It's so shocking to people. He didn't get there by the good deeds he did. The Bible doesn't say that.
But in looking to that, being face to face with the Father and intimate with the Father is so much more significant than any deed or any ministry or anything else that could be done for Jesus and for us. It doesn't, when you put those two and you weigh them on a scale, if you want to do that, doesn't even compare.
No.
Doesn't even compare.
No. The greatest work of Jesus was that he trusted the Father.
Yeah.
That is the work of Jesus. That is the only work that anyone who's ever had human flesh can actually do. The rest of the fruit is a result of that work. Yeah. And that work produces fruit on our behalf. Just like Paul said that when we believe unto sin, our members are taken captive.
Right.
Meaning that even though I know I don't want to do this bad stuff, I'm going to do it anyway. Right. Why am I going to do it anyway? Because my members have been taken captive by a wrong way of thinking, a wrong wisdom. It's the same way with grace. Yeah. Jesus' members were taken captive by the persuasion he had in his heart. He couldn't do anything but love. Right. He didn't have to try to love. He didn't have to hear the right way is love. He didn't have to do any of that. He had a persuasion that took his members captive and could only bring forth love. And now God has given that we could have the same thing dwelling in us. And in the same way that our members were taken captive to sin and all manners of the fruit in the flesh would manifest in us, when we can see, when our hearts can be taught by the same word that Jesus' heart was taught by and that dwelled in him and that was made flesh in him, we'll find our members being taken captive by that word. Meaning that we'll find our members loving people with all their strength, with all their soul, with all their might. And we won't even really know that we're doing it.
Yes.
It'll just be like a natural consequence.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
It'll just be happening.
Right.
And we won't see it happening. And all of a sudden we'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm loving these people.
Yeah, I'm watching that happen over here all
Right,
the time.
look at this love coming out of me, and then it's like we're blessed by the love we see coming out of us.
Amen.
It's like we feel the love that's coming out of us towards other people
Yeah.
because we're thinking, how is this happening? When did this happen?
Yes, right. Exactly.
And see, we get the whole thing confused because we think that Jesus came and had to try to love.
Yeah.
He didn't have to try to love. If you're busy trying to love, then you're not following Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
There's no shame in that.
Right.
But recognize that and then start to say, well, what is the truth that was made flesh in Jesus? Let me behold that truth. Then that truth can be born in my heart. And then that truth will produce fruit on my behalf. And then I can enjoy the fruit just as much as the other people around me who are being blessed by the fruit.
Yeah.
You know why I'll be able to enjoy it? Because I won't have done any laboring and toiling to produce it.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
I won't have produced it by the sweat of my brow.
Right, exactly.
Which wouldn't work anyway.
No, it wouldn't work anyway.